Up in the ring, Boyd Pierce is ready to introduce this event, so let's swing up and pick him up.
2 out of 3 falls with a 1-hour time limit for the Texas Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, on my left, the challenger, 230 pounds from Houston, Texas, Gino Hernandez. And across the ring, 6'7", 235 pounds, Texas Heavyweight Champion, David Von Erich. Your referee for this title match, Danny McShane.
David Von Erich, who took the Texas State Heavyweight title and belt away from Gino Hernandez in Dallas just about 3 weeks before this match took place. And just 2 days after Gino had run afoul of Jose Lothario's attempt to upset him, and a wild and rugged chain match here in Houston. And Gino insists that what was wrong was that he got hurt in the chain match and David took advantage of it. This match here for the Texas Heavyweight title in the Sam Houston Coliseum is the outgrowth of that background. So the Texas Heavyweight Champion, David Von Erich, a tall, towering individual, long legs, which are a great advantage to him, and the ability learned from practice since he was old enough to walk, to apply holds and to make them count. So Gino Hernandez, second generation wrestler, wrestling family. David Von Erich, a second generation wrestling family. The referee, Irish Danny McShane, who was a generation all by himself. So Gino's effort now to regain the title depends on how well he does in 2 out of the next 3 falls. Twisting arm lock, and David makes the reversal in a hurry. Well done. The pressure's out on the hand. The twist is on the arm, and he makes the most of it. He's using that to position the hold, and Gino can be heard all over the place here as he reacts to the manner in which that arm is being worked on. Hammerlock. David in position. And I mentioned that David could apply and use holds with a great deal of skill. Gino can. Of late in his matches, he has not been noted for concentrating on his ability to wrestle. Hammerlock is the grip. He's got it up there snug and solid. How far do you have to bring it before it hurts? A lot depends on the individual. Some fellows, you can just barely get their arm behind their back and they are ready to quit because it hurts so much. And others, you get it way up the back and it's almost discouraging that you can't make them quit. But everybody's arms are different length. Their musculature is different. And their threshold of pain is different. Well-placed shoulder. Nimble David. Gino right now, again, is victim to a fast move and a bounce that was tough to take. David, the hold and arm bar. Gino trying to get into a good defensive position. Gino's not getting much sympathy from the crowd. He has not endeared himself of late to fans in Texas. Gino was set that time to maneuver David into trouble. Instead, he caught those flying feet. And I would say that the drop kick with the new generation of Von Erich wrestlers is as much of a trademark as the Iron Claw was to their father, or is to their father, I should say, because the Iron Claw became part of the Von Erich name. You rarely said Fritz without saying Iron Claw Von Erich. But both David and Kevin are masters at the dropkick and masters at other things too. So Gino has this problem. The problem lies in the fact that that arm is held right around the elbow and it's difficult to maneuver. And there, well, I was just about to say that was Gino's first opportunity and he lost that one too. And again, David cinches down on that arm bar. Trick there is to keep the arm straight, to keep the forearm under the elbow, and to come up on the elbow like that. 5 minutes have gone by. 2 out of 3 fall match. This is the first fall. A 60-minute time limit. And Gino's motor was running, but it got him no place. Quick switch by David, an agile and well-timed bit of evasion. Stayed right in there. Now, if Gino can make the most of it, he's got his first opportunity in this match. He came up there with that knee, and he must have found tender territory. He has. And now as he goes after the trapezius muscles, he can probe in there with fingers in the front and back, and he wants to get even with David Von Erich for the punishment on the arm. Twist. He's applying the same hold in a little bit different fashion. David shifts around. David tries to get on equal terms and gets jerked down, and Danny McShane hears the crowd yelling at all sides that Gino pulled the hair, but Danny was not in position to see it, and Gino refuses to admit it, and McShane, I believe, is going to limit it to a warning. Warning it was. And Gino that time is denying it just as vociferously. The crowd is affirming it and reaffirming it. And I don't quite know what McShane. Well, McShane's verdict is obvious. He is not going to break that because he didn't see it. And of course, a referee who will stick by having to see it is the man who will not be swayed by the crowd. That's the way it should be. The long arm of David Von Erich. The short, quick grab of Gino Hernandez. And this time, McShane's eagle eye was equal to the task. So Gino didn't accentuate the break. But he's got a different type hold. He's holding that arm, but not in a bar. And he is closer to the shoulder, and he could run afoul of David Von Erich's ability to bend that arm. The exchange comes from the fact that Gino did not keep that elbow straight and did not keep the pressure on. But let's give David marks for making it difficult for him to do it. Oh, how that one landed. Gino would like to call a truce here, but the armistice is not going into effect the twisting arm lock and driving throw. And here is David Von Erich, and he found his mark, looking to land on Gino Hernandez. Hard, nicely done. So the first fall.
9 minutes, 6 seconds, Texas champion David Von Erich.
David Von Erich, the winner, in 9 minutes and some seconds. And he's a step ahead in this battle for the Texas State Heavyweight title. We'll be back here in a moment, right after we have this word from the studio. As the bell sounds, why Gino Hernandez was faced with a intense David Von Erich, who pursued him over into the corner and started pounding, and you saw what happened. David knows that if Gino stays out there long enough, he's going to come back in that ring at full strength. And there's a peace pact. Would you shake hands with that man and declare peace? That's what you'd get. And right now, David Von Erich is beginning to repent the fact that he put so much faith in that outstretched hand. So David's in trouble. He's a fall ahead in this effort to hang on to his Texas State Heavyweight title, but he is faced with a man who is rugged and tough and who stops at nothing in order to gain his end. Gino has become that kind of a wrestler. He has his supporters here in this crowd, and he has those who are his detractors. Everybody pays their money and they has their choice. In behind, Gino Hernandez. And David Von Erich trying to muscle his way out of it. Hard to do when you've got those arms that straight. But now as he gains a little bit of effort, there you saw the extra push that McShane caught him giving. Whether that is legal or illegal, I question whether it's illegal, because you use the rope for so many things. You go into them for a flying tackle, you go into them when you're trying for various moves, and the temporary instantaneous use of it rather than the prolonged use to maintain a grip is oftentimes part of the strategy. The effort now to make a switch, and David is almost in a position to make it. Gino, as he comes around, was able to work on it again, use that rope again, but the referee takes, as he should, since he did it the first time, takes the view that that was improper. Or did he? And David now using up a lot of precious strength, arm strength. Can't get much body behind this. You've just got to fight arm for arm, and the man in the back has the advantage. And as the effort goes along, there's a switch by David Von Erich, and Gino's in trouble. David, with his long arms and long legs, has been able to plant a foot in the middle of the back and get plenty of pulling power, plenty of purchase, plenty of leverage. And Gino eyes that rope longingly, but he is still a couple of feet away from it. He's got to gain by inches and is close to gaining it. He made it. He made more than the few inches, but he is out of the grip, and if that was his sole desire, then he has done it. So Gino's back in fair territory, and he's fair game as David starts to pursue him. Well, when you find that a man's legs are some of the best part of his attack, you try to weaken him. Good strategy. There's a leg breaker. And that's what raises the Charlie horse. That's what slows a fast man down. That's what makes it impossible sometimes to leap as high as you want to and squeeze as tight as you are capable of doing. Five minutes have gone by. This is the second fall of a 2 out of 3 fall match, and David Von Erich, the man who is down on the canvas with his leg in the grip of Gino Hernandez, is a fall ahead. He's defending his Texas State Heavyweight title belt here in the Coliseum at Houston, Texas. And Gino comes in there to find the tender territory. And that leg, and it's a good one, right now has less than full capacity available to it. And David tries to pepper Gino in a way that'll make him let go. And pepper him he did, and let go he did. Ooh, nice, he caught that on the fly as Gino went in there to kick him. Crowd urging David Von Erich on, and David comes in there with a nice leg dive, fall away leg breaker. Oh, that worked well. The snap was in that grip, and it was in there tight. Right on the shin, just below the knee that time. Oh, man, that hurts. So David drops in, looks for the pin. There's one, there's two. And Gino remaining in there. This time, as David came through the air, Gino doubled up to protect himself, and we've got David down, Gino hobbling. But David is not in as bad shape as he might have been. Whoop! That could put him in bad shape. Dropped hard. Top man, Gino Hernandez. There it is. The second fall, the equalizing fall.
7 minutes, 30 seconds, the challenger, Gino Hernandez.
The equalizing fall gives those Gino Hernandez fans in the audience an opportunity to scream for their favorite. And David's fans are still cheering and telling him there'll be another fall. We'll be back here in a moment. We'll tell you right now that there will be another fall, and we'll see it right after we have this word from the studio.
3, 2, 1, third fall.
There's the bell for the third and deciding fall. The fall that decides just who is the heavyweight wrestling champion of the state of Texas. Man with the stars on his trunks, David Von Erich, defending his belt. Gino Hernandez trying to regain the belt from David. And there is a hold that the long-arm David Von Erich is particularly adept at applying, the sleep hold. Gino on his feet was able to reach the ropes because he was moving at the time that David caught him, and he was unable to hold him back. This could do it. This could do it. The reapplication of this particular grip is makes it a cumulative affair. What the damage you did the first time helps out the second time and just keeps adding. Gino now gets an arm over the rope and manages to pull himself in there, but he just barely made it that time. The arm was flopping around there, and it looked for a moment like he wasn't going to be able to get enough strength to raise it. Bad move for David Von Erich. Gino hung on to that rope, but I think he was just hanging on for dear life. I don't believe it was a strategic move. David's throw was about to catch him bouncing off the rope, and it didn't work out that way. So the pendulum has swung in the opposite direction, and Gino now is in command. We could have a fall right here. And whoop! We don't have a fall right here and right now. We have both men trying similar moves. We have them looking for an opportunity to land with weight with a telling blow, and the crotch hold, a backbreaker, and Gino's on top. There's one, there's two. And Gino complaining he wants a fast count, which is quite natural. When a man is on top, he wants a fast count. When he's underneath, he wants a slow count. There should be no fast and no slow. They all should be measured counts. Missing a wallop like that can lead to a lot of bone bruises. Gino trying to set David up. There is the sunset flip, and here it is. There's one, there's two. That was close. But it's three that counts. Number three is the magic number when it comes to pinning a man's shoulders to the canvas, and no matter how many times you get two. Here's a backslide, and we could have it here. There's one, there's two, and Gino's long legs that time were able to affect the escape, and both these fellows are trying for the pin. They're going for the jugular. Whoops. Both coming at each other. The inevitable moving objects collided, and Gino is closest to you. The drop kick is great when it lands, when it works. But when it doesn't, it can surely boomerang. So David Von Erich gets a hand on that rope to help up, and it gives him an opportunity to clobber Gino again, and there's a lot of clobbering being done out there. Sleep hold again, David Von Erich. And you've got to look up and start measuring how far he is from the rope itself, whether he's going to be able to get out. And David, as he came into that turnbuckle that time, was hit right on the shoulder, and this could be a bad omen. There it comes. There's one. There's two. And Gino is trying his best to glue David down to the deck. There's one. There's two. Not yet. And again, David's taking an inordinate amount of punishment over there, and there's a foot over the rope. Foot over the rope for David Von Erich, and he broke that count, but he didn't get out from underneath, that's for sure. And that's what counts.
5 minutes.
David, as he fights back at the 5-minute mark, making telling advances on Gino Hernandez. And that one is bound to be a telling blow. Gino is top man, going for the pin. There's one, there's two. Got to get that three, and it's a hard one to get. And you can see here as David gets his... Tiger Conway Jr. has shown up at ringside. Tiger Conway Jr. trying to irritate Gino Hernandez, as Gino Hernandez did to him last week. He called him boy, and Tiger Conway has racks him up. There's one, there's two. Gino is down. Gino has lost the match, and Gino's face is smeared with something. It could be the shoe polish that Tiger Conway gave to Gino, or gave to me to give to Gino gave to me to give to Tiger Conway on television tonight, giving him telling him he could have a career shining shoes after he got through beating him. Gino Hernandez, a face that is smeared, and it is shoe polish for sure. There is a frustrated individual, Gino Hernandez. He is mad. That crowd is standing, the crowd is screaming, and he is trying to make something out of it. But in all of the uproar, the man who won the match, and kept his title was David von Erich. We'll be back with you in a moment, because Gino is including you, and that's it. And we'll be back in a moment after we have this word from the studio.